All right. Game 2 is done with.
Thank
Man,
God.
I know. Garrett, the Hawks kind of did the most un-hockey thing ever. They beat like the narrative. Olenek, Avery Bradley were out, and they won by double digits.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like what was expected to happen happened by the national media, of course,
Yeah.
not by Hawks fans. Garrett, were you terrified going into this game as much as I was?
Yeah, I was. When I saw the ref assignments,
Yeah.
I almost had an aneurysm.
I read that Olenek and Avery Bradley's done for the series. And then I read that it was Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose this game, aren't we? Are
Yeah,
you
I was legit scared.
No, yeah, like I was dead serious. Like I thought we were going to lose this game by anywhere from 15 to 5 points. Garrett, do you listen to the Bill Simmons podcast at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you hear the recent episode with what's the guy's name? Haralabob, the guy who always does the gambling?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's right before he ended, there was a segment where he says, well, yeah, and the Hawks get shafted by the refs because of Budenholzer, bumping the ref that one time. And it's by, I guess you'd say, senior refs that this happens to. Did you hear that, or did I imagine that happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What in the world? When I heard that, I was kind of like, so I'm not being a homer? This is actually real?
I mean, I kind of expected it after it happened. After that letter that they sent the referee union, that letter that they sent out after Bud wasn't suspended, you just read the seething, the the fury through the letters, the passive aggressiveness of that letter.
Yeah. I kind of thought that too, because I was kind of shocked that Bud wasn't suspended when that did happen. But hey, whatever works, man. Well, it doesn't work at all because we've gotten screwed through the year. Like, I thought that like the Paul Millsap getting punched and getting beat in the face was just kind of narrative that Hawks fans, we as Hawks fans just, I assume we were being homers for it. Like I knew it was bad, and if that were LeBron, he'd be at the free throw line like 90 times.
Yeah.
Man, but back to this, the Hawks got off to a comfortable lead. Excuse me. That game, just too much excitement for me.
Very exciting game.
Yeah, I found it exciting. Whenever the Hawks win, it's exciting.
Yeah.
They got off to a comfortable lead. The Celtics got within 10, and then the Hawks are like, all right, hold on. Garrick, I missed the first half of this game because due to the horribleness of Pacific time zone, I managed to catch this game halfway through the third quarter, and I watched it till the end. Garrick, what was up with the first quarter?
First half. The defense was mainly what was up. Kyle Korver. He turned into Kyle Korver. Played like Kyle Korver.
Really? Are you saying that Kyle Korver, the benching wouldn't have worked out if we benched him this game?
No.
Okay.
Kyle Korver was pretty good in the first quarter. We held Boston to 7 points in the first quarter. Their lowest, all Boston playoff history. been playing since the 50s, 40s. Held them to 7 points in the first quarter. That's their lowest in the first quarter ever. And I felt like we should have been up by more than 17 after the first, though.
Yeah,
They were terrible.
I was checking the feed on my phone when I was at work, and I was kind of wondering. I was like, "Huh? So 24 points still? I don't know. The 7 was impressive, but I was kind of worried. I was like, the offense isn't exactly great. Looking at the at least the box score and some of the
Yeah.
stats on it.
Offense didn't exactly pick up all night. It's kind of stayed at that same pace, but the defense stepped up. That first quarter really put us in the catbird seat. Just cruise the rest of the game. And Isaiah Thomas, after his comments, and he played like trash
What did Isaiah Thomas say? I must have missed
when
this.
when he said Kent Bazemore. We can't let players like Kent Bazemore go off. And
Well,
his team is full of players like Kent Bazemore.
I find that is kind of funny. Marcus Smart is basically Kent Bazemore.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. I guess it's because Isaiah Thomas didn't shoot like 90 free throws this game.
Yeah. He had the most in the game, though.
How many did he have? I
8.
don't have the box score in front of me.
He had 8.
Eight free throws.
Yeah. Paul Millsap really struggled, and we got a scare out of Al Horford and Dennis Schroeder.
I noticed that. I turned it on. Okay, so here's the thing. When I turned on the game, I was watching on mute because I was listening to something in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second that I unmuted and turned on the volume, that's when we got a Thabo explosion.
Yeah.
And Thabo scored like 3 straight baskets that led to a wedgie. But he scored 3 straight baskets. I was like, what the heck is this? Oh, boy. Yeah, Millsap shot 1 for 12. Bazemore shot 2 for 14. Okay. I totally see it now, looking at the box score.
It's an ugly game. Ugly game.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugly game, but still Al Horford made an impact. I like how we ended that quarter because I was like, we are just going scoreless forever. But then Horford hit that 3, and I was like, man, if only Horford were a good player, then, things would be better for us. Now, you saw that comment, didn't you?
Yeah, from Tommy Heinsohn.
Yeah. It made me wonder when he said that all of like Boston fans and the Boston kind of like GM and scouting and all that were like, shut up. Like, I don't know if that were me and Bob or Neek said something like, that Nicholas Batum is a terrible player. He's just so below average. I would be like, ugh, really? Did you have to say that? So, completely random. I turned on the Memphis Spurs game right now. Completely random. I had no idea Jordan Farmar was still in the NBA.
I found out, I think, the last game of the season.
I found out the last game of the season. Okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't know he was playing for a starting team because I thought he was I didn't know he was starting.
Yeah.
That was okay, that was interesting fact. But back to the Hawks game. Wow, they won. I'm just shocked that they just I don't know. It was very unhawksy. Like, this is kind of like a statement win, like, to me, because they played ugly, but yet they still held the massive lead. How many blocks did they have this game? Wasn't it like
Uh, like
15,
15? Yeah,
16?
15.
16, yeah. No,
You
that's
got
probably
16? 15.
15 blocks. That was kind of really surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, Paul Millsap didn't let his offense affect his defense. He played pretty well,
Yeah, Millsap had a
protecting
really
the
good.
rim. You know, even Jeff Teague had a block.
Jeff Teague didn't he used to get blocks at one point?
Yeah.
Let's
Kyle
see.
Korver, his typical playoff block.
Mike Scott had a block. Oh man. The Kyle Korver blocks are always fun, but it's like when you least expect it. But yeah, he hit that block on our good buddy. Um, I'm sure you personally know RJ Hunter, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You
No,
personally know him. Y'all went to
no.
school together, didn't you?
What? Didn't you go to school with him too, Joe?
I think I did. We went to the same school, right? We were roommates at one time.
Didn't
One
he?
point.
Didn't he? Like contact you through social media, Josh?
You know, he was in my brother's chem class. He was in my
Uh,
brother's science class. Though my brother said he never went to class. But I guess that's par for the course for athletes. But yeah, me and RJ are cool. He connected with me through social media. It must be because me and my brother were in this. He and my brother were in the same class. Yeah, we're cool, man. Uh, that was a lot of fun, Garrick. It has been fun. I haven't talked to you in a while on here.
yeah.
We missed the last couple of reviews, man. But yeah, I mean, I am just so shocked. Like, you have no idea. Like, normal Hawks fans are probably like, oh, yeah, the Hawks won. We're up 2-0, about to go on the road to play Boston. Like, I'm legitimately surprised that we did not lose this game. You have no idea.
Yeah. It had all the makings of typical Hawkness. Like their best play, I wouldn't say their best player, but one of their best players out, and you're expecting us to win. But we overcame it, Josh, I guess.
Let's see here. They say the X-ray was negative for Schroeder's ankle. He has a very noticeable limp. Whew, boy.
Kirk Howard playoff experience, Josh. Are you ready?
I don't know what to think. Can Kirk even like move fast? Like if we put Kirk on the rookie, who is the rookie that's playing for Boston?
Terry Rozier.
Yeah, Terry Rozier. Do you think Kirk would be even quick enough to move with him?
Nah, I don't think Kirk can stay in front of any point guard except probably Steve Blake, and that's probably pushing it.
Is Kirk at this point Mike Bibby slow?
I don't know. Maybe they had a couple pounds on Kirk.
Yeah. Let's see here. You know, and the thing was, we were killing Schroeder for how bad he was last game. This game he actually kind of looked competent. Like he wasn't doing anything stupid, at least when I watched him play. I don't know. How did he look to you in the first half?
Uh, he was running the offense. He wasn't forcing it, I guess you can say.
Like he wasn't playing badly, was he? Like we
Nah,
just
he
need
wasn't.
him to be competent.
Yeah,
Okay.
nah, he wasn't bad at all.
Oh boy. They are really killing my confidence in the Schroeder injury. Update is he's leaving the locker room limping without a shoe on his left foot. Uh, boy. Wow, that stinks.
Get some ice on it. See how it is tomorrow, I guess.
He's gonna be like Curry, questionable. Except for, I don't think the rest of our team is as what's the word, jacked as the surrounding Curry team. But
Yeah.
so Dennis is hurt. That's not good. Maybe he can go to the Jeff T school of playing
Ankle
through injuries.
recoveries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ankle recoveries. So that was definitely something. Garrick, injuries to Hawks players is something that's what I can't stand. Almost as bad as I can't stand this Damian Lillard dropping dimes commercial. Do you know what I'm talking
Kevin,
about?
where you get all those dimes from?
Yeah, seriously. The irony of that. I find it funny that they put Kevin Love in these commercials, and I'm like, I thought Kevin Love just hated life. Like Kevin Love hates life right now. They don't play. So, do the Cavs play Mozgov at all?
Nah,
No.
not
Okay.
really.
Okay. Watch when they play the Hawks. If head coach Tyrone Lue,
I like how you have to say head coach.
head coach Tyrone Lue. By the way, which is going to lead to a funny story that happened to me last night. But head coach Tyrone Lue, because apparently they've been playing Kevin Love now, like some at the 5. Like, if the Hawks make it past round 1, it's still possible for Boston to win in 6 or 7. But if the Hawks make it past round 1, do we say, what's the word? Do you think they're going to start playing Mozgov again? Would you play? Or is Mozgov just hurt and he can't play?
Nah, I don't think so. Because the last time, what was it in Cleveland? No, in Atlanta. That game in Atlanta,
Yeah.
Mozgov played for like I would say about 5 minutes, and they took him out, and that's when they went on that unbelievable first half and started.
Oh, right. Ron. That's right.
Yeah.
Please.
Hold on a second. Is Christian joining the broadcast? Here we go. Christian, what's happening? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, man. What's happening?
Not much. Just getting over the final minutes, final moments of that game. You know, I had planned after that podcast on after the first game. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bash Dennis. I wrote down so much stuff about like his his statistics, and after the end of that game, I can't bring myself to even say any of it.
I honestly thought, me and Garrick were talking, I thought he kind of played competently. Like, we just didn't need him to do too much, like play, what's the word? When Dennis plays, it's like fast pace. Like, we just needed him to be competent and run the offense. And I thought, he did that. And
Yeah,
towards the end, he started hitting those layups. And I was like, oh, okay, good. This is what we need. And then, yeah.
and that's the thing that kind of like separates me from kind of trying to figure out exactly where he fits and when he comes to the game, like what exactly Bud wants him to do. Does he want him to play exactly like Jeff? Does he want him to be more prototypical point guard? Like, I mean, Dennis versus Jeff. I mean, they're two totally different players. I mean, you look at them, and Dennis does, to his credit, he runs an offense. passing wise, better than Teague, but I mean just to drive the lane and create shots, and create the fast and fluid ball movement is what separates him from. But, he's getting better and he can play that game, and I liked I liked how he played. There were some spotty moments where I was just like, well, what are you doing? I mean, that's just what's come with him. Um, I didn't mind how he played, but man, we went up on that big run, and then he comes in in the first quarter, didn't score a point with him on the floor. So it's just, I
Yeah,
mean, it's just those little things. I mean, I can't critique his game too much, but I like how he played in that first 6 minutes. Why won't Bud just throw all the starters out? We'll wait till the second half to play all the backups. I felt like there were so many opportunities for us to pull away and create a more comfortable lead. I mean, how did y'all feel about it? I mean, it. I was comfortable up to a point.
well, it's because Bud didn't want to throw the starters out there because he heard that Al Horford wasn't that good, so he didn't want to have the non-good players on the court. I mean, that's got to be the reason for me.
Dude, that's just bad. I even talked to you today about what he's going to get in the off season, which is crazy. But
The King's
he
ransom.
just God, he's I actually was looking up like the tiers of free agency, what each are going to get. He falls in the second tier.
Yeah,
There's probably 10 or so players that are going to get him.
yeah. So, boy. So, what's something that what did you like in this game? What's something you saw that you liked?
Baby. Hitting those three. I'm telling you, if Bazemore would have hit that three after he'd hit those two and Teague had hit that layup, if once we got that steal, how much did we score? Scored like we were an 8-0 run, just got that steal. Baze was wide open on a 3-on-2 fast break on the left corner left wing three. If he would have hit that three, Phillips Arena would have shattered, fell to the ground. All of Atlanta would have started shaking. The entire world would have just got tired.
Yeah,
It was setting itself up to be that way, and Baze I was so confident that he was going to hit that three that, man, he played with he didn't play as efficiently shooting, but
oh no, he didn't.
he did the things that were right. I mean, he got a lot of rebounds. So did Korver, surprisingly. But I liked how he played on the glass. I liked how we were moving the ball for the most part. I mean, I think once we stepped off the throttle, I mean, we kind of fell into a little funk that we tried to work our way out of. Or in the second quarter, excuse me, that we were able to really hone in on what we were making those runs with. But I just liked the way we came out. I think the big thing, regardless of everything else, Boston wasn't shooting good. They weren't playing good because they didn't have Bradley or Olenek. But the intensity that we came out with, knowing that, and we were able to step on the pedal from the get go and build that lead. Kind of always. I that's I mean, if we've got to, I'm not talking like that good because I don't think we'll always be that good. I mean, something to that extent. I feel like we have to get on a roll. Like, and
Yeah.
each
So
series after this.
yeah. So Let me see. Garrick, we've talked about the positives. We've talked about I guess the negatives. We're afraid of that Dennis might. We'll see how he is next game. Anything positive outside of the defense, though? Because, Garrick, we were talking about earlier just how good the defense has been.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you. My goodness, stay awake and listen.
I don't. Besides the defense,
Do you not listen to what I'm saying? My God.
besides the defense was
Besides
the.
the defense, besides the ugly game, besides the fact that we didn't score the final 5 minutes of the first quarter,
Well, I don't know if I can say anything was great besides the defense, Josh. The defense was the great part. I can't say the offense was great.
I thought it was. Yeah, you're right. I thought it was great that we were able to win a game like that.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
I think the thing that does when we have bad shooting funks like that after whatever the first 6:30 that first quarter, when we have bad shooting funks throughout the entire game, I loved the way that we were able to defensively we play good, but I'm talking about just the hustle stats, or just the hustle, just the diving after loose balls, filling up lanes. The help side D. We didn't play really good on help side D on the perimeter. I mean, they got a lot of open threes that they didn't hit, which we're kind of lucky on that. But we were able to play.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
I was going to say that sometimes that's partially by design. If you're playing a team like the Celtics who can't shoot at all, I know Bud did that last year. Can't remember who we played. But without their best shooter, it was probably their two best shooters, besides Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, and Kelly Olynyk. Maybe they're helping down and letting Marcus Smart shoot, letting Sullinger shoot, Jay Crowder shoot.
Garrick, are you saying that Coach Bud implemented the Josh Smith offense? The Josh Smith defense on the other team?
Let him shoot. I'll let Marcus Smart shoot every out.
Man, the Josh Smith defense used to frustrate the crap out of me because. Well, I take that back. Because it would only be certain coaches that would do this, and then other coaches, it was just kind of like, if I was coaching your team, what I would do is I'd let Josh Smith wide open.
Just let him chuck it.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is he's sitting there on the three-point line after every miss, and he's still as confident as can be that he's going to make that one. Doesn't matter how many he's missed.
Apparently the thing is he used to make them in practice or something like that. I don't know. But then it's kind of gets to me where it's like, shouldn't it be on coaching to have him stop doing that?
Yeah, he took a contested three at the top of the key last night, 14 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, that's because he's got his buddy Mike Woodson there on the sideline.
This is what you're missing, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So, Garrick, Christian, especially Garrick, because I know you will find this hilarious. Did you hear the rumor about the Kings being interested in hiring or interviewing Mike Woodson?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you imagine?
I don't even want to think about that.
Can you imagine, that would be Mike Woodson's, hell. It'd be like if heaven was hell and vice versa for Mike Woodson. Because, I'm sorry, did anybody get that reference? Because I know you're a loser and you get it. He would, because he has Rudy Gay, okay, he gets Rudy Gay. So he can go ISO, but then at the same time, it's just kind of like, what do I do with Rondo? What do I do with
He'd hate
Rondo?
life. He'd absolutely hate his life.
And then
See,
Mike,
I
and
don't
then
think
just
even if they
was
interviewed him, I just the Kings would throw themselves into mediocrity even more because I think that if in the interview they would see that there is no way that he can handle
You're
it.
giving them too much credit. They're interviewing Vinny Del Negro and Sam Mitchell too.
I was about to say that. I was going to say, aren't they also interviewing Vinny Del Negro? Who,
Yeah.
like, okay,
I expect Randy Whitman to get a call too.
the funny thing is despite everything I said about Mike Woodson, we're not even talking about the part with him coaching DeMarcus Cousins. Like,
At least he has practice on that.
oh my goodness. So, out of Vinny Del Negro, Mike Woodson, and Whitman,
Sam Mitchell,
and Sam
Whitman.
Mitchell, who's the best coach out of those? Whitman, right? Would Whitman have to be the best coach out of them?
No, I would have. I mean, if I were
Vinny?
speaking, okay, I hate
No,
Washington just as an
not
FYI,
Vinny.
and I'm glad that they signed Whitman. They should have let him go a while before
Yeah.
before that last season or this past season.
Yeah.
No, they shouldn't. They should have held on to him. I wish they gave him an extension. I personally wish that.
I'm gonna say Sam Mitchell's the best out of that. I think that okay, Vinny Del Negro, there's no way he can handle that lineup. Mike Woodson would have an aneurysm by day 2, maybe by the end of the first practice. I think Sam Mitchell could probably. I don't know. Actually, Caron Butler was on the Dan Le Batard show today. I was talking about it, and Dan Le Batard was trying to coax him into admitting something about a DeMarcus, or just something that he did. Like, what's the angriest he's ever been? He's like, oh, he's not that way on court. He just plays with a lot of passion. It gets blown out of proportion a lot of the time. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's blown out of proportion. DeMarcus Cousins.
Sam Mitchell's probably the coolest guy out of that group, but
Wait, who?
I would say Sam Mitchell.
Sam Mitchell? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking
I would hire Vinny though if I had to choose.
You would hire Vinny?
Yeah. Didn't he win 50 games this last year? He still got fired.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like you had Blake Griffin and
Yeah, that's true.
you had Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul is essentially a coach. Like, if you have Chris Paul running the offense, even Mike Woodson couldn't screw up the offense. And hey, look, even Mike Woodson hasn't screwed up the offense there. Like, Like, I'm trying to imagine that Vinny Del Negro with what's his name? Rondo. I wouldn't know what to think because, okay, so at one point, I don't think Woodson would blow his gasket because you think about those guys that were on the Knicks teams that he had to coach. He had to deal with J.R. Smith in New York, Melo. Just the funny thing is, I think of that Coach T-shirt, Garrick. The picture of his face. Coach.
That's just his philosophy. What do you do, Coach?
I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, leaving Marcus Smart open probably was a good idea for us. Did that. You know how that last podcast, you said, oh, Marcus Smart's like the guy that lights us up. It's only this year that he did it. Like, last year he was terrible against us.
But he's terrible against everybody shooting.
He
except
really is.
those 2 games against
Us.
game 1 in that last game in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, he shot 1 for 11 tonight.
Part of the season, I don't know if it's still true, he was the worst 3-point shooter in the league. Had a threshold of so many attempts. He was worse than Kobe.
Hmm. Yeah, but the thing about it is, with him against us this year, his effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage is like is so far ahead of um I think it's 12% more. His it's like 40% to
Yeah.
46.3. So and they don't use him all that much more against us. But here's the kicker: 100% of his 3-point field goals that are made, like, except the one that he made today, are ones that are assisted. So ones that are directly passing,
Yeah.
like a catch and shoot. So just if he has the ball, play off of him. Let it fly.
Yeah. So you just mentioned something, Garrick. I haven't talked to you since the Kobe game. Garrick, did you watch the final Kobe game?
Yeah. I was watching.
Um, Give me your like quick 10-second thoughts on it.
Uh, 50 shots. 50
It
shots. But
it was
it was
very
cool to
pretty.
watch. It was cool to watch, but 50 shots is a lot. But yeah.
Well, okay, so I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but just everything that went into that, like besides the fact that, he started to get hot towards the end of his 50 shots, which kind of makes me wonder, it takes Kobe 40 shots to get warmed up to start shooting normally like he used
He's
to.
old, Josh. He's old. You
Did
gotta
you
warm it up.
notice? Okay, did you notice the screens they were setting to get him open?
Yeah, they were brutal.
They were
Like they
like,
had four Draymond Greens on the court with them.
no, no, even Drake. It's like if you can imagine Draymond Green and Kevin Garnett
Dwight
and
Howard.
Dwight Howard all fit sitting in on a film session and looking at it and being like, man, they're setting some illegal screens. Like those
Yeah,
screens.
I think Julius Randle had one where he just grabbed Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty bad. It was very bad. How much worse do you think that would have been if that game actually counted for Utah to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like,
It was so fun to watch, though, man.
Yeah, it was.
Like I would not as I can't see anybody else in this league going out shooting that way that I'd rather want than Kobe. Maybe I mean in his last game
well,
I'd like them to shoot like that. He'll probably shoot like 70 his
I
last game.
kind of wished in Iverson's final game with Philly they would have done that for him. Let him go out like that. I was watching the Iverson documentary on Netflix last night. By the way, there's just so much of that I need to talk about later on with you, Garrick. But
Dude,
if
Norfolk,
if
man, that's 757, man. He reps 757. Old Bethel High School.
oh yeah, I went to Hampton for 3 years before I transferred to State, so I'm
Sweet.
familiar. I'm familiar with that area.
You know the is it's
Oh
like people from the because I went to school I went to college in like southwestern Virginia, but I went to a high school in Richmond. Um, man, like
yeah,
there's people that take the like 804 area seriously.
yeah,
Like 757 is like a brotherhood. if
yeah.
if
I
you're
got
from
it.
if you're from the 757, you're there
I
for
got it.
life.
I know a couple guys, a couple of my friends still there. My friend moved out of Hampton. He lives in Portsmouth now. I'm supposed to go to his wedding next in June, but it's interesting. But anyway, what
I
in the
would have
world
loved
were
to
we
go to
talking
I would
about,
have loved to
Garrett?
go to
We started talking about the Hawks, and then we went to Kobe, then we started talking about Iverson.
All
Um,
right, I got some good things. All right. I got some of our best lineups and our lineups with Schroeder. um, our lineup that we use the most Obviously, Teague, Bazemore, Korver, Millsap, Horford. 41 and 29 with that lineup. But here's some good Schroeder lineups. I literally went through every single lineup that ones where we played all right. Schroeder, Hardaway, Cephalosha, Scott, Horford. We were 24 and 15 with that lineup. Had 106 offensive rating, 86 defensive rating, 52 effective field goal percentage, and 55 true shooting percentage. Schroeder, Hardaway, Cephalosha, Humphreys, Millsap. It's a pretty good one too. 99.1 offensive rating, 96 defensive rating. Don't shoot it that well. Korver, Scott. The major theme here: Schroeder and Hardaway have to be on the court together at all times.
That's funny.
Let me ask you guys: do you think Hardaway's like? Did he look healthy to you guys tonight?
He was moving. I didn't see any hindrance with him.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering that.
He seemed a little. I don't know, man. I think the lead, like I said, I think the lead really played into a big part of how we played, and like us just he just seemed. But after we got that huge lead, like every lineup kind of seemed discombobulated. Like one person or two people just seemed like they were out of sorts on the court.
Yeah.
But he seemed like that in a couple, but I don't. I mean, I'd have to see him. I'd have to see him in a closer game, one where we're actually running our offensive sets better.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. I was wondering because when they said Hardaway was healthy, I kind of doubted it because I was like, I wonder if that's just something that we'll say, just to I don't know, mess with folks, at least mess with the Celtics or whoever. But yeah, he didn't look bad. I mean, he didn't look too abnormal. I'm happy that Coach Bud doesn't read Hawks Twitter. Only the fans that watch X amount of games per year and never around in practice or don't know anything to think about benching Korver.
Actually,
If we read Hawks Twitter, we would be starting Omer Asik and Al Horford at the 4 and have
Lance
Tim Hardaway
Stevenson.
Jr.
Lance Stevenson would have been on the team.
Yeah.
What else? Dennis would have been traded after the first 2 months of the year, and then Jeff would have been traded after those 2 months of the year. Shelvin Mack would be a full-time starter because that's what we'd be left with, and we'd expect him to put up Utah Jazz numbers. Am I missing anything? Korver wouldn't start. Tim Hardaway Jr. would start, but then probably get benched.
within 2 minutes.
Paul Millsap would play the 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we would trade him for Omer Asik.
Oh, right. We would have traded him for a Sheik. Yeah, would have traded Paul Millsap for a Sheik. Any other stupid hot take? I meant wise comment from Hawks Twitter that I need to mention. What else? Budenholzer would have lost control of the team and not known how to coach after the 3rd month, so we needed to promote like Darvin Ham or something.
Moose is the catalyst and makes this engine.
Yeah, you're right. Moose is the 6th man off the bench. Moose is the 6th man off the bench. Man, I am going to really upset. I already feel hate with what I'm saying right now. And I cannot overemphasize how much we hate Kyle Korver. Hawks Twitter. What else? Joe Johnson should have been traded, but then brought back to Atlanta. Do you remember the Joe Johnson love? Do you remember the Joe Johnson love we were getting?
Yeah.
A few months ago. Yeah, that was hysterical to me because I was like, y'all forget how we treated Joe Johnson when he was here? I don't know if he would have wanted to come back. Oh, Kevin Martin would be getting starters minutes. Who
Also
else?
on the free agent market this year.
Kevin Martin would have gotten would have been starting. What else? We could have traded what's another one? Lance Stevenson would have been starting, or starting too. But who else? No, wouldn't Millsap and Joakim Noah be our starting front court? Not Millsap, Horford and Joakim Noah. They would have been our starting front court this offseason. And there was one more I really wanted to mention. All right, we live in a world where we can imagine that we could trade like Mike Scott. No, Mike Scott would get every minute. Garrick, you can't tell me you disagree with me. Mike Scott would get every basketball minute possible. Okay, I'm just messing around now. I'm just messing around.
I got another cool lineup here.
No, hold on. I got one more. Crap, I forgot it. It was big though. Okay, you talk for a second. I'm gonna try to remember what I was about to say.
Schroeder, Korver, Cephalosha, Millsap, Humphries. 8-0 when that lineup makes an appearance. 151 offensive rating, 83 defensive rating.
Schroeder,
effective field goal percentage, 82 true shooting percentage.
What was the lineup you said?
Schroeder, Korver, Millsap, Cephalosha, Humphries.
Weska's like Schroeder.
I feel like we see that lineup like towards the end of the first quarter a lot. That's Horford's out in the middle of the first quarter, and Bud usually takes out Bazemore with Horford. So that's when Cephalosha and Humphries come in, and Schroeder usually comes in towards the end of the first quarter, and he leaves Korver on there. Korver usually plays usually all of the first quarter most of the time.
Why do you think we're suddenly seeing Humphries a lot more than before? I mean, not Humphries, Muscala, all of a sudden.
I really don't know. Humphries struggled in the last week of the season.
I really don't. I really can't answer that either because it's just like I don't know. Height maybe? No, I don't know.
Okay, I kind of get it. With Humphries, you don't really have the stretch forward type of thing, but with Muscala, you got like the hybrid forward, power forward center, and he can also stretch the. He's not that good of a shooter, like perimeter shooter, but he's at least got it in his arsenal. So I mean, it's like a different look.
Is Muscala a better shooter than Humphries? Because I don't know about that.
No, you don't really need Humphries' rebounds against Boston.
That is very true, actually. Okay, yeah, you're right. That is.
Muscala, he's more mobile, more versatile.
That's true. Okay. You know what? Actually, kind of. You know what? If you mention that, that's kind of correct. I actually kind of like that theory. So basically, you're saying we're resting Humphries for the second round. If we make it past the first round, I have to emphasize that.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna say.
Oh, right. Hold on. I suddenly remembered the last thing I was going to mention about what Hawks Twitter thinks. We could trade like Mike Scott and some second round picks to get like a superstar. That was the last thing. Because you guys, did you know superstars grow on trees and they're like so easy to get? Like the reason the Hawks don't have Kevin Durant is because apparently we didn't try to get him. Like, we didn't interview. Same with LaMarcus Aldridge or Marcus Saul. It's because we didn't try to interview them. Like, apparently that's it. And you can, I guess, assume that we're not going to attempt to try to interview with, try to talk to Kevin Durant this summer.
Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, I had referee statistics wrote down for the 3 referees, and surprisingly, they actually called a pretty good game for the most part. They really let them play.
Yeah, I was looking at the free throw attempts.
Maybe they caught wind of what was said about him.
Well, okay.
Try to make it look less suspicious.
Because everyone just kills Scott Foster. Like, every analyst, or at least podcaster I know, kills Scott Foster. And, what's his name? I want to say it was Scott Foster used to have the beef with, like, Rondo or, I think it's Scott Foster. Not Rondo, but Doc Rivers. So it was always like, if Scott Foster calls a game against Doc Rivers, you can always basically see that as a loss. It's kind of like how, coincidentally, knocking on wood, have you noticed, when was the last game that Ken Mauer has reffed a Hawks game? Like, do you think that's coincidence that we haven't seen Ken Mauer ref a Hawks game for like a very long time? Like, I had to really question if Ken Mauer was still in the league, but I saw him the other night calling some game in the playoffs. But I was like, no, I guess he's still in the NBA. I don't know. Do you notice that?
You're going to talk him up. I'm going to have him for game 3.
You know what? And, I did mention that, and Jason said, don't jinx us. Jason Walker, great guy. He said, don't jinx us. But it's kind of, I noticed, like, we don't get Ken Mauer anymore reffing our games ever since, like, basically everyone, at least, especially, I know I picked it out, especially since the Horford ejection. And many playoff games before that. He just doesn't do Hawks games anymore. Tony Brothers, I feel like, is just bad equally. He shares his badness to everybody. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Potato Head.
He honestly reffed a pretty fair game today for the most part. That was so surprising.
I felt there were some interesting calls, but then at the same time, it was just kind of like, well, if you didn't call that, then they didn't call some on the other end. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna have to rewatch the game, Christian, but I feel you're right about that. Man, we have talked like everything Hawks related, basketball related recently.
Oh yeah. By the way, what did you feel about that? The fact that we're probably going to give like 23, 24, 25 mil to Horford. Man, I do not think we're going to have enough money for Bazemore. Unfortunately.
I feel like we can find someone.
I just don't see it. God, man, but the only thing that I think when I was looking at it was I'd want to go after a shooting guard because Kyle Korver is the 3 that they want. And that's the only reason that Baze is in there because it's kind of like a prototypical shooting guard, small forward. So if they're gonna put him in there. See, does Hardaway play a lot of lineups with Korver, or does he play more lineups with Baze?
I think he probably plays more with Bazemore. You can.
I would imagine Bazemore because of the substitution pattern. But if anything, I see him with Cephalosha a lot. It's always Dennis. It's always those two, Dennis and Hardaway, which might be foreshadow, if you will, for basketball.
The only person
Wow.
that I probably won't. My bad. I completely lost train of thought. Okay, restricted free agent. Ready for this? I don't think y'all ready.
Who's that?
Alan Crabb.
Mm,
The way he plays, man. I think he's gonna be a good player. Like I think whatever he gets offered on the free agency market,
yeah, Portland's gonna
Portland's
match.
you match it right away, like no hesitation. Um,
Yeah, they don't have any contracts to give out. I mean, like big contracts.
Wow. So
um,
I'm watching the Grizzlies game. They just fouled Tony Allen on a 3-point shot. Who fouled him? Kawhi. Uh, I noticed Kawhi's got the fresh new cornrows in. Way to rock him, Kawhi. Way to rock it.
So he celebrates his Defensive Player of the Year award.
He goes. He instead of gets it done from. I'm just saying. What if he gets it done from his sister normally, but he celebrates it by going to a shop to get it done?
what
Oh
would y'all
man.
feel about us going after Luol Deng?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think that is possible.
He'll probably get a little bit more than Bays, but he's not gonna get that much more.
Dang
Honestly.
isn't he predominantly playing the 4 now?
Yeah, but that's Miami. I mean, Miami's so damn weird.
Yeah, but they're getting the best out of him playing the 4, and I don't know. I pretty much think we could never get him in any circumstance without having media talk to us or about us. But yeah, I
All
don't
right,
know.
here's a bargain. He's gonna go less than Bazemore. I wouldn't want this per se, but um, had a pretty bad year this year. Gerald Green.
Gerald
ew.
Green? No, nah, nah.
I see. I mean, the only ones I see like, because if we lose Bazemore, we're talking all we
Oh my
have
god.
all we
Hold
have
up,
at
hold
shooting
up.
guard.
Are you watching the Memphis San Antonio game right now?
I don't have
Yeah.
my TV up
Okay,
here.
who is it? Who is that? You should see Matt Barnes' face when they had the guy standing in front of him.
Boban.
Yeah, Boban. He was just standing in front of him just to block the inbounds pass, and it was just kind of like Matt Barnes was like, "Are you kidding me?" His face was like, "Yo, this is a joke." Okay, that's all. But
No, Matt Barnes is he's a he's funny as hell, man. Like I'll never forget him just sprinting to the locker. The other team at the end of the game,
Matt Barnes
and
has
nobody noticed.
Matt Barnes has a lot of moments where I'm just kind of like, really? Anywho, anywho, we are talking about future picks, to which we're just going to save that for the off season. Uh, Christian, final thoughts on this game? Make it
Uh,
quick because we've been on for a while, and I gotta whatchamacallit. Yeah,
wrap it up.
yeah.
Wrap it up box. We need the wrap it up box from Dave Chappelle. That would be the greatest. There actually used to be an app. All right, sorry. But final thoughts. Played good defense. Had a good run. We're gonna have to do the same thing. Garden's gonna be a hostile environment. So what we did today at the beginning of the first quarter came out with the same intensity, but I'd like to see us carry it throughout the entire first half. Actually, I'd like to see us carry it throughout the entire game. Score like 150, 160. But I'm happy with our defense. Happy with how they all they all really stepped up and were able to make key plays at the right times. And I think that I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna begin to say SWEEP, but I'm
Don't
not
do
gonna
it.
say it.
No. What?
I'm not.
You're
I'm
breaking
not.
up.
I know. But
Garrick, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
but
Wrap it up, B.
I liked our defense, and I think if we carry that same intensity on the defensive end and really put a staple, if Bud puts a staple on performing consistently and running our offensive sets to the best of our abilities through each lineup, I think we'll be set in the Garden. As long as we can some environment, but I'm looking for us to have big showings these next two games, especially on Friday.
All right, Garrick, what you think, man?
Good ugly win, I guess. The game was played with the lights off, that would have been a pretty win, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Friday, see how they come out on the road. Maybe if we can get out early, take the crowd out of it, and hopefully go up 3-0. That's all I have, Josh.
I hope so too. First and foremost, putting our hands together, prayers for no, I'm kidding. Because I was going to say prayers for Dennis, but then that'd be kind of mean to say that about, well, they have injured players, but Garrick, is it bad for those of us that don't feel bad about Boston players being hurt? I'm kidding. Although I'm suddenly having flashbacks of fouled after the inbounds play, and
Yeah.
the last time we played the Celtics.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Schroeder and Horford.
So
I do feel bad. I do feel bad for Bradley, man. Like he's a good young player. I mean,
If it was Marcus Smart,
team.
I wouldn't feel bad.
No, I wouldn't either.
True.
He can flop his way into Paul Pierce.
And Garrick hates Paul Pierce. I mean, I think I hate him as much as Garrick does, but you'll have to catch us on like a relaxed pod or sometime to see for Garrick to go through his history of hatred for Paul Pierce. But
I'm right there with y'all.
Real quick, I just hope Dennis is good. We can come out aggressively on. When do we play? Thursday? Is that the next game? We play Thursday.
Friday.
The Hawks, for whatever this year, like they beat the narrative. I'm just shocked, especially like you remember last time we played the Celtics, and the Celtics lost a player. And we ended up having the advantage because they lost a player, that being Rondo, and we ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
Last year, the Wizards lost a player in John Wall, and we ended up losing the next game. It's just surprising that we beat the narrative. We beat what the Hawks fans we thought.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just surprising, just great. Hawks need to go in and win this next game. Get some better play, continue to build on it. Hopefully Millsap won't be as bad as he was. That's it.
There's no way.
That's it. Fellas, thank you for joining me. Christian, thank you for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
Garrick, thank you for coming on, as always.
Whatever.
Yeah, I hate you too. I hate you too, man. We'll have to do this again.
Hey, here's actually a good last thing to go out on. We're up 2-0. Yes. it feels good just to be up to.
Yeah. Anyway, appreciate it, guys. Hey, we'll try to do this again for Thursday post game.
Friday,
Anyway,
Josh. Friday.
Friday. Wait, the game's
Yeah.
Friday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, game's Friday. Okay, never mind. Dennis, you got 2 days to heal that ankle. Friday! All right, cool. We out. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
All right.